You don't want to paint what you see. You want to paint what you feel from what you see. That is one of three quotes that changed the way I paint. So, in this video, I will share with you what the other two are, how each of them has helped me manage my results, my stress, and my overall enjoyment of art. I will come back to the first one because that's my favorite and I really want to indulge in it. I just want to leave the best one for last, even though now you know what it is. One of the most frustrating things to experience when learning to paint watercolor is learning to know how your colors are gonna turn out once they dry. Because every time that you are painting, it changes a little bit. So the ratio of water and paint is never the same. You can believe that it is the same. You can get it to an approximation, but it never really is the same. So you never really have a 1 + 1 = 2 kind of situation where you can know exactly how your color is gonna look, except for this quote that I'm about to share with you, which is, if it looks right, then it's wrong. And this is a quote that I learned from Andy Evenson, one of the most influential people for me in watercolor, or I should say, people that I look up to. His freshness and just like brush work is just amazing. And I talk about him a lot in this channel because, yeah, I took one of his courses and I really loved it. But yeah, that quote, ever since I heard it, is just kind of stuck with me, and I use it every single day when I paint outdoors. So the next time that you feel like painting, just remember that if you're trying to have a light wash or a mid value wash or a dark wash, if it looks lighter than what you wanted, it's wrong. If it looks as light as you want it, then it's wrong. So it needs to look just a little bit darker. There's a little bit of experimentation that goes with it, but believe me, you will start seeing results right away. I love that quote because it's practical, it's useful, and it's easy to remember. Now, the next quote that I'm gonna share with you guys is one that has helped me elevate my painting and freed me from just being a slave to my reference or the thing that I'm trying to paint. Because many times we are just so focused on all the details or how something looks that we kind of become blinded and we're not really looking at our paper as a whole or our painting as a whole, but we're just looking at the mark that we just made. And if the mark and the shape that we just created resembles the thing that we're looking at, and this can be very frustrating, and it can lead maybe even to burnout sometimes because you can't seem to paint whatever it is you're painting in that moment. And I actually used this quote today when I was painting these rocks because I actually forgot to bring a pencil, and so I wasn't able to sketch my composition before I started. So it was a bit hard to imagine and plan where I was going to put what. And so I decided to start with the most darker shapes first, but with a light yellow. So I knew exactly where I was planning to put the rocks. But even when I did that, the composition that I was going for wasn't really what I wanted. And therefore, I remembered this quote that said, "Let the painting paint itself." And as soon as I heard that, I remembered that I don't really need to copy everything that I'm looking at. I just need to, you know, like work with it, work with what I'm seeing and what I'm doing, and just letting it flow without really trying to fight it in, or not trying to mold it into something that it's not, because my abilities are not there yet, or like as in this case the composition wasn't there. So, and it doesn't really need to be exactly what you're looking at, it just needs to be a part of what you were drawn to in the first place. And this is a perfect segue to the next quote, which, by the way, the previous quote was said by Joseph Zbukvik, which is also another person that I really look up to. But this last quote, it is just so freeing, so enjoyment inducing that I really try to keep it in mind as much as I can when I'm painting. And it definitely came to me today, especially after remembering of just trying to let the painting paint itself. I don't want to paint what I see. Sorry, you don't want to paint what you see. You want to paint what you feel from what you see. And that is exactly what I tried to do. I just wanted to put in the page what I was feeling from the light falling onto these rocks and the colors and just a beautiful contrast of colors and just the light itself. I don't know how to explain it, but the snow and the rocks and the sky. It was just so beautiful, and that's all I wanted to capture. So I gave myself the goal to just focus on capturing exactly that, the glow of the rocks, the glow of the snow, and just a bit of the color of the sky, and just a little bit of the color of the shadows in the snow, because those were the elements that really like captured my attention, and that's why I wanted to paint this. And also like those little branches sticking out from the snow. This whole thing was just beautiful, and I just really enjoyed it. And it's just a pile of rocks. And I talked about this before. A pile of rocks is all you need to be inspired forever and like paint every single day and still learn something. So I really love painting snow and rocks, especially with some sunlight, because overcast is just a bit too difficult. And when I'm trying to paint with this quote in mind, I kind of wanted it to be easy. But I also have to remember to be inspired by what I see. So there's a balance that needs to be struck there. Sadly, I don't remember who or where I heard this from, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm just glad that that quote is still in my mind, and it has helped me to enjoy art every time I'm feeling frustrated. I just think about it and I just look at my painting, and I'm sometimes able to create something that I didn't think was possible, or something that is even better than what I saw, at least in my opinion. I'm not saying that this is it, but I'm still very satisfied with the painting. Let me know what you think, and thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.